Okay, so question 9 was answered again quite poorly. Not an easy one to just fix this one, because I think the main reason for people not getting this correct or not getting full marks, the main reason is that people just didn't know the terms concurrent and terminal feedback. Okay, so there's a couple of ways you might want to approach this sort of video that I'm doing to try and help you get better answering this particular question. If you don't know what concurrent or terminal feedback are, again, you need to go back and do something really simple. You need to check your notes, make sure you've got notes on that. If you haven't, you need to use the mark scheme or continue listening to this video. And you need to just try and learn it, really. I can't really help you any other way than that. You've got to know your key terms in GCSE PE, and you need to be able to do that. If you can't find your notes, I'm going to help you out a little bit with this and see if you can then apply this knowledge to this question where you might have got 0 before to getting somewhere near 6 out of 6 for this, or 3 marks and 3 marks for this. So again, before I tell you what the definition of concurrent or terminal feedback are, I just want us to think about the command word and marks available in this question. So there's question, it's kind of 2 questions based on a similar topic on feedback, and the command word is explain. And as we know from the previous slide, we know that that means to give an example which must be linked. Now, one thing I would say that you'd want to do before that to get a mark on this, because it's a key term, is concurrent or terminal is, I would, number one, I'd want to define or give a definition of the key term. So I'd want to define in this one what concurrent means, all right, or what concurrent feedback means. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to give you this one for free. So concurrent feedback is something that is feedback is given at the actual time the skill is performed. So at the time the skill is performed. Okay, terminal feedback. Okay, the definition of terminal feedback is when it's given after the skill has been performed. After the skill has been performed. So that can be at half time. Right, it can be after the game, it can be at training after the skill, something after the skill has been performed. Sorry about my dodgy writing. Okay, so let's say you've just written that answer in now on your blank question if you didn't get any marks right for giving the definition of concurrent or terminal. Alright, so if you haven't written it in, write it in now, maybe pause your video. But let's say you've then written that definition in. We then need to think about what the command word means. Justification or example, which must be linked. Must be linked. So again, if I give an example about when concurrent feedback is used, and it's linked to when an under 10 girls football team, okay, so an under 10 girls football team, I need to give a specific example in football, in under 10 girls football, about when concurrent feedback could be given. So try and do that now for me, please. Might want to pause your video. Okay, so you're given an example for your, hopefully your second mark. And then for your third mark, once you've done that, you might want to again pause the video if you've not finished off your example, and then just press play when you've done. Your third mark, what do you think it's going to be for? Just before I tell you the answer, what do you think your third mark is going to be for? Again, explain using examples when Inman would use concurrent, in this one, concurrent feedback with her players. So you've defined it, you said what concurrent is. Right, it's feedback given at the time the skill is performed. You've given an example, so you might have said, for example, that is when they have shouted on from the sideline whilst the game is going on. Alright, so whilst the skill's been performed, they've shouted on some instructions about tactics. You've then got to give a reason why that would be used. Okay, so try and give a reason, again, sorry about my writing, a reason why it might be used. Okay, so again, without just looking straight at the mark scheme, what I'd recommend you doing now, if you didn't get full marks on this particular question, is I'd try and write your answer again. I'd try and give a definition of concurrent. I'd then try and give an example within the sport about when that happens, and again, it must be linked. So you are linking it to your girls' football team. Alright, you're then going to give a reason why that would be used. What benefit would it have? What would be importance of it? Okay, and if you've done that for that bit, you should then be able to do exactly the same process for question 3. Okay, so again, all of a sudden, if you've got 0 marks in this, without me saying too much, nothing rocket science, but maybe just giving you a key term, you might be able to get 6 marks instead of 0 marks. Well, what a huge difference that would make to your overall grade. Okay, good luck. Have a go at doing that, please.